Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're here to do my top 12 SteamVR PCVR games for 2025. But before we do that real quick, I just wanted to talk a couple of minutes about the Pimax headsets, because you can see here I have a Pimax Crystal Super, and I have my Crystal Light sitting here right next to me as well. And the reason I wanted to talk about them is because they're having some crazy deals right now, and I'm going to be 100% honest, I would not be talking about things if I didn't actually like them as much as I do, because I have never owned a Pimax headset up until a few months ago when Pimax reached out, being 100% transparent. They're like, hey, we want to send you this headset so you can take a look at them. And they told me I had to make one video on the Pimax headset, and that was it. As you can see on this channel, I've made a ton of videos on this channel with the Pimax because I actually use it and I actually really like it. This is my go-to PCVR headset, and I thought it was fitting to bring this up right here in the SteamVR release of the top 12, because I literally use the Pimax Crystal Super all the time now. Between these DeMoss speakers on here that really do sound amazing, that bring me back to the days of like the Valve Index of speakers, and the giant FOV of the 140 degrees that I'm using with this one. I talked about this, but the Pimax Crystal Super really is a fantastic headset, at least for me and all my use cases of it. Like playing racing games on it, playing fight simulators on it, and playing some of these other games, playing VR chat on it, and using it at this really high resolution, and using it with this insane FOV really is a treat to the eyes of something that I didn't experience before. And it really is awesome to use, and I'm super glad that Pimax decided to reach out, because like I said, I'd never tried their headsets before. So I wanted to let you guys know, if you guys are interested in trying Pimax as well, they have some crazy deals right now for Black Friday. You guys can check out the links down below for it, that you can save 3% if you guys go to my links on the Pimax Crystal Super and the Crystal Light as well. You can save 3%, use the UrGamingTechie coupon code, and use the links down below. And not only that, but they're having some crazy bundles here for Black Friday where they give you things for a Microsoft Flight Simulator by giving you some coins. They're giving you a subscription to iRacing. There's a bunch of different things here that they're giving you. They're even giving you $125 off coupon for some VR gloves. They're offering a gigantic bundle right now. So if you guys are in the market for Pimax and you want to get a Pimax Crystal Super here or a Pimax Crystal Light, I definitely recommend them as someone who uses them on this channel and has been using them for all my SteamVR games. Make sure you check them out. But what's also really cool and something new that they're doing is this whole super open initiative that they have going on. And you can check out the links down below to check out the Discord and stuff like that to find a little bit more information about the super open initiative. Now, as you guys know, Pimax has always been all about, modularity. That's one of the things I really like about this headset, is that I can take out this right here and change the optical engine. I can change like the facial interface and add different things to this headset, and not have to buy a new VR headset every time that they want to change the optical engine to 55 PBD, or like giving you a wider FOV and stuff like that. You can just take this optical engine out and swap in a new one. And their super open initiative is to work even closer with the community and create different things for their headsets. So like, they may have new optical engines. Like they're talking about doing a 70 PPD one for when you're watching immersive videos and immersive content. Or, facial interfaces that people may like in different regions and different ideas that people may have. And they want to work with the community, and they want you guys to join that initiative to make this whole super open initiative, so you guys can make different products and make different ideas come to light for the Pimax Crystal Super and the Crystal Light. And that's one of the things I really like about Pimax is the modularity of this system. And now they're taking it even a step further with the super open initiative. So you can go ahead and join their Discord and join the initiative and really, make some cool products for these Crystal Super here and take it to that next level. So with all that being said, guys, like I said, all the links down below. If you guys want to support me in the channel, we'll be here for this stuff that we just talked about. But today we're here to talk about my favorite 12 PCVR games for 2025. There has been a lot of fantastic games that have come out this year, and we have a lot to talk about here with these different games. Some really cool stuff came out, some really great graphics in PCVR. It is definitely not dead like a lot of people like to say on here. It is definitely not that, and this video will prove it. There were some great games released, so let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a recce is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
All right, guys, so the first one here coming in at number 12 is called Titan Isles. This is a really fun game from a developer. I'm sure you guys all remember the game Windlands, with the really unique movement system and stuff like that. This is from those same developers, and this is a really interesting evolution of that movement system. This is you controlling different, like, Titans. You have 4 different exosuits that you have, all with their own unique abilities that move in certain ways, have different weapons and stuff like that you're trying to specialize in. It feels like you're playing, you know, a different game depending on what exosuit you're wearing, and obviously you're going around killing all of these Titans and stuff like that, but you can play it cooperatively, you can play it solo and stuff like that. And as you can see, the movement system definitely has feelings of the way that you moved in Windlands, but now you're playing a shooter where you're tackling these gigantic Titans and stuff like that. It is a super fun game. If you guys even a little bit like their original game, this is definitely their next game, and it's a really good. Titan Isles at number 12. The next game on this list coming in at number 11 is Of Lies and Rain. And honestly, I didn't know anything about this game when it first came out. It kind of just caught me completely off guard. I didn't know this game was coming until it got released, and now it's one of my favorite games of the year. It is really good. It is a game where it's a shooter built exclusively for VR. So obviously that's already a really good start that it's exclusively built for VR. So it's going to take full advantage of everything that you love about VR in general. And you're basically going through trying to save humanity. And I love stories like that where you're kind of trying to save humanity from extinction and stuff like that. And the graphics and the stylized way that this game performs, and the graphics and the way it looks, as you can see here in the video, I think look outstanding. And it really sets itself apart from the regular games that we see, you know, that are kind of like in these rural areas and like stuff like that. This has its own unique look. I love the way that the presentation is and the environment that you're in. And I love, you know, the weapons that you get in this game and the riddles that you're kind of solving along the way and stuff like that. It's a really interesting story, really interesting game. And I love shooters, obviously. So to have a brand new shooter kind of brought into us like this, like Of Lies and Rain, I think it does a really great job. And I really love the presentation and style of this one, and the story being told of saving humanity from extinction. So if you like a game like this, make sure you check it out. Of Lies and Rain at number 11. The next game on this list coming in at number 10 is Luminous Arise. And I think a lot of us probably recognize the Luminous name, and that's because I remember playing this game so much on like the PSP and the PlayStation Vita and stuff like that. Not this exact game, but the Luminous franchise in general. And I love that we have this one. And not only can you play it in VR, but you can play it in 2D as well. So it's awesome that I can play this on my Steam Deck and then also switch over and play this on my PC for Steam VR as well, which is super awesome. And they knocked it out of the park with this game, in my opinion, for what this game is. You have all the same Luminous like gameplay that you're used to. The music in this game is fantastic. The visuals are insane. I love the colorful visuals. It feels like you're being transported to a different world and stuff like that. A ton of unlockables that you get in here, multiplayer, single player, leaderboards, all that stuff is all here, and it is super awesome. I think Luminous is back for sure, and I love the music and the way that this game just transforms. You remember this game also on the original PSVR as well, that they had a version of Luminous on there, and it was super awesome. And now we have our version here on Steam VR with the newest version of the game, and they knocked it out of the park, in my opinion. So if you like this style of gameplay and you like this puzzle block style game, definitely not one to be missed. This is Luminous Arise coming in at number 10. The next game on this list coming in at number 9 is VR Racer Hover Bike. This is such a great game. If you guys are into racing games, and not just racing games, but games like Wipeout and stuff like that, this is that game done in VR. The graphics are fantastic, but what I really like about this game is the tracks that you're going through. You have things like neon cities, alien worlds, all these different circuits that you're going through, and then you have all these weapons and stuff like that you're throwing at each other, that you're trying to dodge, like missiles and mines, and it's just a fantastic game. The sense of speed in this game is amazing. And like I said, if you're even a little bit of a fan of Wipeout and racing games and stuff like that, the fact that this game has cross-play multiplayer, so you can play it with people who are on the Quest or on PC, and customizing all your different bikes as you guys are looking at here, means this game is going to have longevity, and 30 different tracks in this game too. There's not like 5 or 6 leaderboards to be able to keep track of your friends and see who has the best racing and ranks on everything. It is such a good game. You guys, if you have not played this game and you've been finally waiting for a game like Wipeout or a really good racing game ever since like the PlayStation VR 1 when we had that Wipeout, this is that game right here. Do not miss it. This is VR Racer coming in at number 9. The next game here coming in at number 8 is Wanderer, the Fragments of Fate. And man, we were waiting for this game for so long. Now, this is not a brand new game. Wanderer was on PC before. I reviewed it, and I didn't finish the whole entire thing, which I'm glad I didn't because now I have a reason to go back to this one. But I did play a good chunk of it. And I remember one of the things that stood out about it is the graphics and the whole nature of the game where you're kind of going back in time. I love time travel stories and stuff like that. And the visuals in this game were always really good. But this game that they redid, that's the Fragments of Fate, is they basically took that game and upgraded everything about it and added new scenes to it and new puzzles and stuff like that. And I think this game is awesome. It was already really good before, but now it's even better. They updated the graphics to make it look even better than before. They upgraded new sections. They upgraded the combat in this game. Even though the combat may not be perfect, it's still, you know, I still had fun with the combat playing this game. But man, I love the story of this game, like going back and forth in time and just seeing all the different locations that you go through. It really is like a bombastic version of a VR title. There's so many things to see, so many different locales to go through. The story is super fun, and the environments and stuff like that, and the way you use different pieces and bring it from one area to another to solve different puzzles is super, super fun, in my opinion. I think they did a great job with this one. Took forever to get here. I'm not going to lie. We were waiting for this one for a while. Kept getting delayed on PC, but we finally have it. And I really, really like this game. I played the original one, and I like this one even more because of all the upgrades and how much better it looks than the original. So, Wanderer, the Fragments of Fate, coming in at number 8. The next game here, coming in at number 7, is Ghost Town. And you guys know I love my horror games on here in VR, and I love that I was able to play this through the holiday spooky Halloween season. And this is a single-player VR game, and this is from the creators of the people who made, like, The Room. And The Room was such a fantastic horror-based puzzle game, and this is the sequel, not the sequel, but their next game, you know, approaching that, and it is better in every single way, in my opinion. Again, it's a single-player puzzle adventure game, and they knocked it out of the park with this one. I love the eerie nature of it. I love the different locations that you go to. There's a lot of variety in the actual locations that you're visiting. It's really, really good. And basically, the story of this one is you're going to encounter a bunch of diverse range of characters on here. Some of them are going to be living, some of them are going to be dead, and you have to learn the secrets about all the hauntings that are going on around here by doing different puzzles and casting spells and summoning spirits and all these different things. But what really sets this one apart is not only the graphics, but also the story being told, and also the adventure that you're going on and seeing these different ghosts, and also the locations are so varied. You're seeing some of that here in the gameplay video. Definitely not one to be missed if you're into horror games and into single player adventure puzzle games like this. This is Ghost Town, coming in at number 7. The next game here coming in at number 6 is RoboQuest VR, and this is from one of the greatest people out there. This is Flat2VR Studios that are taking flat games, as their name suggests, and bringing it into VR, and this is their next game in that area. This is RoboQuest. A lot of you guys may already know the original, and it was a fantastic game, and now we have it in VR, and they knocked it out of the park as they usually do. This is a fast-paced roguelite FPS game where you're using your speed, your firepower, and your reflexes, and you're using all of the gadgets, and this feels like a full-on game that you thought came out for VR, but it is not a game that was done in VR. It's a ported game to VR from the 2D game, but it feels like it was always meant for VR. There's so many different weapons in this game, as you guys are seeing here. Variety of different maps that you're shooting all these enemies in, so there's so much content in this game. It is insane, between the weapons, the items that you're unlocking, the maps that you're playing in, the graphics and stuff like that. It is truly amazing. RoboQuest VR at number 6. The next game here coming in at number 5 is the Midnight Walk. This is a dark fantasy adventure game, but what makes this game unique, and you can kind of tell here, is the graphics and the art style, because it's all made out of clay. And I have never played any game like this, but it really captivated a lot of people, including me, when you start playing it, because of the unique nature of the clay, the unique, like, dark fantasy adventure that you're going on and stuff like that. Basically, you become like a burnt one, like a candle and stuff like that. You're going through, you know, befriending like a lost lantern and stuff like that, and you're going through the story and seeing all these different monsters and stuff like that in clay form in VR, and how cool these things are. It really is amazing, and it's definitely something to behold, seeing all these different monsters and stuff like that. There's the Pop Boy I was talking about that you befriend, and it really is, you know, an awesome experience, and seeing all these odd characters that you're going through, seeing them all made out of clay, and seeing the unique nature of the stylized graphics in this game definitely one to be missed. A lot of people are saying this is one of their favorite games of the year. So, and I definitely agree, obviously being on this list. So make sure you do not miss this one if you're into a game like this or it even remotely looks interesting to you. One of the best games of 2025, especially in VR. The Midnight Walk coming in at number 5. The next game on this list coming in at number 4 is Zero Caliber 2. This is a sequel to the original game that was beloved by the community, and this game is better in every way than the original, and this really showcases what happens when you make a PCVR game with PCVR graphics and take advantage of everything that PC can offer right here. If you want a bombastic campaign story game that you want to play in VR that really showcases what PCVR can do in graphics and just a really amazing campaign that you can either play solo or with 3 of your other friends, this is that game. The graphics are amazing. The campaign is insane. The cooperative nature of it is awesome. And it's not just that. It's also the fact that it also has PvP as well, so you can go ahead in there and play multiplayer with these fantastic graphics. It really does look amazing. It's one of my favorite games, obviously, of the year. The graphics are amazing. The campaign is freaking awesome. I have not seen a campaign like this in VR in a very long time where it's just explosive and just... it's just awesome, guys. Not a game you want to be missing here. Check this one out. This is Zero Caliber 2 coming in at number 4. The next game here coming in at number 3 is Demeo X Dungeons and Dragons Battle Mark. So this is the game Demeo that a lot of us know and love, the virtual tabletop game where you're playing D&D style game, PvE with your friends, where you or your 3 friends are cooperatively going through a campaign and battling all the different monsters. But what sets this one apart and what is this one is all about Dungeons and Dragons. So you're going to have the classes from Dungeons and Dragons, you're going to have the enemies and stuff like that you recognize from that, and it's going to bring that all into the Demeo like tabletop board game that you have here that a lot of us have loved. And they really did do a good job of bringing the graphics and the cards kind of resemble like what happens in D&D and stuff like that. It is a really cool game, and if you guys love the Demeo franchise and you were always waiting for an officially licensed like Dungeons and Dragon type game so you can feel like you're a part of the classes, feel like you're a part of the story being told that is part of that D&D universe, this is definitely that game for you. They did an outstanding job. You guys know what I feel about with Resolution Games on this channel. They make some of the best games in VR. They're one of my favorite developers out there. So Demeo X Dungeons and Dragons Battle Mark coming in at number 3. The next game here coming in at number 2 is Dungeons of Eternity. This is a game that was originally on the Quest that finally got its PCVR release, and this is a game that a lot of us have loved. This is basically Diablo for VR, where you and 3 of your friends are going through different dungeons and using your different weapons to try and go through the dungeons, kill all the enemies, and grab loot and basically update your characters and stuff like that the same way you would in Diablo, but this being done in VR. And they did a fantastic job porting this game over to the PCVR with better graphics and better textures, and everything that we love about this game is here. You can play it cooperatively with your friends, or you can also play it solo. The dungeons are obviously always changing because they're randomly generated, so you never know what's going to happen on each run that you do here. The tavern and the little social hub that they have going on here is really cool. This is a fantastic game. It has been since it came out, and I'm super glad that we finally got a PCVR release date. We've been waiting for this one for a long time, and it is amazing and super fun to play. Dungeons of Eternity coming in at number 2. And the number 1 game on this list has got to be Forefront. This is, if Battlefield is something that you've always wanted in VR, this is that game in VR where you literally have gigantic maps, or you're playing, you know, games like Conquest and stuff like that, and you're using, and you can all go into helicopters, you can go helicopters with your friends, the teamwork is all here, you can ride different vehicles around like tanks and all that stuff is here. It is bombastic. It is super fun. Teamwork is prevalent in this game. I've never had any more fun in multiplayer than I have in this game. And what's crazy is that even though this is on PC, we're still waiting for them to update the game with PCVR exclusive features like the better textures and the better graphics, because that is something on their roadmap. And I can't wait to see, because the game looks good, but it is a ported game over from the Quest. But once they add these PCVR exclusive things to make the lighting look even better and the textures and stuff like that, this is going to take the game even higher. But already, it's one of my favorite multiplayer games ever, and it is something that you're going to have super fun with, being able to go around like with your friends and drive these tanks and go in these helicopters like you're in Battlefield and use all these different weapons and stuff like that. It is super, super fun. They're doing a fantastic job, and I can't wait to see, you know, what happens next in this game and what we get next out of this game, because they're doing a fantastic job, and I can't wait to see the game evolve. Number 1 game of the year, definitely something nobody should miss. Forefront coming in at number 1. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the list of my top 12 favorite Steam VR release date or VR games that released here in 2025. And like I said, guys, in the beginning of the video, don't forget to check out all the links below for Pimax and the Crystal Lite and the Crystal Super. It is my favorite headset currently to play PCVR games when it comes to being wired and stuff like that, because it gives you unmatched clarity, unmatched FOV for sure. And I've been having a blast playing all these PCVR games that you guys just saw in today's video on the Pimax. This is my first time I've ever used it, so check them out.